هاي سي اكس ارابيا، مرحبا متابعين سي اكس ارابيا، بنرحب فيكم اليوم بهاي الحلقة. Hello Lynn, we are happy to have you here with us in CX Arabia podcast today, and thank you for joining us.
It's my pleasure to join you. I'm really privileged, and it's wonderful to connect with everyone in Arabia.
Yeah, and Lynn, just as an introduction and a brief introduction, you have been one of the key players to shape out our customer experience in the shape that we have along the history and within the past 20 to 30 years, maybe. I'm just not exaggerating the years, but you have shaped out this the way that we have taken it today. You have been named one of the top CX influencers globally. You have your own approaches and methodologies. So welcome you. We have CX Arabia, our audience from the Arabic region, mainly Gulf, Middle East, and we have from Africa. And we will be happy to learn from you about CX. How is it going? How we can take it from there.
Wonderful.
Thanks, Lynn. So, Lynn, just to talk about customer experience in our days, how it started briefly, where we reached, our approach. So what is it? Is it customer experience, customer service? What is the transformation and the mix between all these?
All right. So I always want to remind people that customer experience is kind of like gravity. It's always been there. Sometime in the history of mankind, gravity was figured out. I think Isaac Newton. But see, when the first people on the earth ever bartered, traded their items, then that was an experience. And what did they experience? Well, some kind of reality associated with what they got versus what they expected. And if it was a one-to-one ratio between what they got and what they expected, then it was a good experience. If it was less than a one-to-one ratio, it was a poor experience. So I think this really helps to think of customer experience in this way. Now, as far as customer service and customer success and customer journey maps and things like this, in more recent history, what happened in the US in particular was in the 1970s, we were pretty, I don't know what you call fat and sassy, kind of the term that we use, just kind of businesses were thought that they should own the market. But we were having really strong competition from Japan. Japan had cuter, smaller, sexier, more efficient, more cost-effective electronics, consumer electronics, semiconductors, automobiles, steel. Many industries were being attacked by superior performance from Japan. And so this was really the impetus for paying attention to customer service in ways that we hadn't in the past, and also to learning about the customer voice. ISO 9000 was one of those things that was implemented along with total quality management probably more in the 1980s, because the competition was so fierce and American businesses really wanted to regain these industries. And in fact, a lot of these industries just kind of went by the wayside, and other foreign competitors are stronger than American businesses even today in some areas. But that was really where I came in. I actually finished my college advanced degree in the late 80s. And so in the early 90s is when I came into this, and it was called customer satisfaction, customer retention, customer value, customer loyalty. All of those phrases were kind of talking about the same thing. Customer service, I just want to point out, I viewed as a little bit separate, but under the same umbrella, because customer service is very specific. It's about when a customer needs some clarification or something to be corrected, then they would contact you either for self-service or by phone, by mail, email, chat, whatever. This is what is mostly remedial, right? You're giving a remedy to a customer.
But it is a kind of a reactive action for something happened as a friction in the experience. We will call it in the modern language. Very
That's
interesting,
right.
actually, history. This is the first time I know how it came
Mm.
and how you seek for this
Yeah,
competitive
that's how the
advantage.
American businesses got into it. And as far as each country, I'm not sure the exact history for it, but basically in the late 1990s, the whole passion for customer experience as we knew it, the loyalty,
Uh-huh.
retention, value, service, it took a different turn in the late 1990s because of CRM.
Uh-huh.
CRM was the new darling. It was the best thing since sliced bread. Everyone thought CRM was going to be the answer of the future. And then around 1999, 2001, CRM got a big black eye because it
Uh-huh.
wasn't really producing what they expected. And the main reason why CRM was kind of taking a back seat as far as people loving it was people had just bought the technology and expected it to magically work wonders.
Transform and to do all this wonders, as what you're
Right.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah, they hadn't paid enough attention to the people and process aspects. And also, I think the whole R in CRM, customer relationship management, is an absolute misnomer from the very beginning. And even till now, 20, 25 years later, the R does not mean relationship in most cases. It means revenue, right? It's
Uh-huh.
customer
Uh-huh.
revenue
So
management. It's not
we
relationship.
mistaken that and misunderstood it, huh?
Well, yeah, it's unfortunate because we think we should be getting a lot more out of it if we were treating it more as relationship instead of mercenary.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And that's good. That's why we came with this people and process, because it's the whole thing. It's about people and the process. Even if you have the best
Mhm.
technology, the best processes, even you need to work on your people who will come and open the door to the customer, who will serve them, who will do all the thing, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Excellent. So then we changed from reactive with customer service, CRM, going to the customer experience with its revolution till what we see today, maybe.
Well, the first time I heard the phrase customer experience management was from a book called that by a man
Uh-huh.
named Bernd Schmidt.
Uh-huh.
He wrote this book called Customer Experience Management. It was really about business to consumer
Uh-huh.
experiential marketing. What does B2C experiential marketing mean? Well, your major brands that you buy your car, things for your house, all that. They have events that are exciting to attend, and people like it, and they tweet about it or put it on Facebook and things like that. So it's a way of making things go viral, getting excited about the brand, being engaged with the brand, recommending the brand. And then in I think it was 2005, this book came out called The Ultimate Question from Fred Reichel.
Yes. Yeah.
He was super popular in the 1990s. I read all of his books. He was actually the first person who got my attention in 1991 with his Harvard Business Review article called Zero Defections, Service Quality Comes to Services or something. And that was the first time that I had ever seen a real argument with graphics showing how customer retention is so much more valuable than customer acquisition alone,
Uh-huh.
right?
Uh-huh.
But it's quite funny because it seems now even certain industries they'll just let their customers go. Especially insurance, they'll
And
cancel. They won't even try to
retain
help the
them.
customer get more current. They just cancel
Uh-huh.
the policy. And it seems like they never heard about this concept of customer retention.
Yeah, and then we heard about all these kind of researches and studies about how it will cost you to retain versus new acquisition, how you
Mhm.
can keep them, and it's very simple. So
Mm.
this is what's the trigger, I think, so that how we can do it. Until today, as what you are saying, even in our region, then the customer experience, they start with it after they stop the revenue generation. Then they will go to
Mm.
this table, then they seek this for this advantage to enhance the overall retention and
Mm.
revenue generation. So the customer experience is as a booster, maybe.
Well, if you're losing customers, then you have to work extra hard to acquire new customers
Uh-huh.
because month by month and quarter by quarter, your investors and the media judge you by
Yeah.
did your sales continually grow?
And you will
If
add
you
more
have a
barriers
dip,
to your acquisition,
right.
new
So if
walls.
you have a dip in your revenue, then it's not, it's looked down upon. It's not cool, right?
Uh-huh.
But if you are growing, then everyone's like, yay.
Everyone, yeah.
So if you're losing customers because of churn, then you have to acquire more customers. And so what happens is the CEO and the CFO, they put more pressure on the CMO. Please generate leads for sales. And so chief marketing officers, most of the marketing departments, they have pretty weak support of
Understanding maybe and
pretty weak
support.
support of the post-purchase experience
Uh-huh.
because they're so pressured for pre-purchase, creating leads.
Uh-huh.
And then you have sales just getting any warm dollars, any warm bodies becoming the customers. And then you
Yes.
have these headaches between that. What did we talk about at the very beginning? The 1-to-1 ratio between realities and
Customers.
expectations. And
Yes.
so customer experience has become a huge field where people are trying to buy, bots and artificial intelligence and, all kinds of sexy things, as well as, exciting experiential marketing and loyalty programs to close the gap, to make up for that. We didn't really be careful. We weren't careful about selling to the right kind of customer, making sure they have the right expectations, making sure that what we're delivering matches
What
what
we
was
promise.
promised or what's expected. Because as long as we have the 1-to-1 ratio, it's a good experience.
Yes,
So
sure.
anytime,
Yes, we need to manage it. We need to work on the expectations, on the promise, make everyone ready before we go there, and to ensure that our customers will find what we are promising, and we provide
that's
the
right.
maybe appropriate empowering and empowerment for our staff and across all the fields, grabbing the attention.
Yeah, it's kind of silly because if you think about it so simply, it really makes a lot of sense for every group in the company to take a step back and to think about what they're doing. Are they contributing positively to the expectations? And are they contributing positively to the realities? Right.
Excellent.
And if our leadership in organizations, be it companies, governments, nonprofits, whatever, would be thinking about just the 1-to-1 ratio, they could save so many hours, so much churn of employees. They would hire the right type of employees with the right mindsets for these expectations and realities. But that's really how simple it is. They would make their investors happier.
You made it very simple, while the details are the devil in the details, as they are saying, how to fix everything, connect everything with the journey, with the people, with the processes, with the systems. And here I think where we came today, where customer experience practices are more mature, helping prove the efficiency of its proactive, I would say, approach, right?
Well, if you think about some brands that are excellent, and I apologize, I haven't been to the area of your world very, very much, but some well-known brands such as Ritz-Carlton,
We have
or
the same, by the way, Lynn. We have
you
Ritz-Carlton,
have
we have
there.
Apple and Amazon, the same
Okay,
players,
Apple,
the same, yeah,
Amazon,
Ritz-Carlton.
Disney, okay, whatever. So those brands usually come to people's mind when people think about customer experience excellence. Now,
Yes.
if you think about how they got there, how many journey maps did they have to do to become well known for customer experience excellence? And here we're not just talking about customer service excellence, are we? That
No,
is Disney well known that when you call in to their 800 number, the contact center, that everyone's so knowledgeable and your problem gets solved right away, and you have hardly any, muzak in the queue. This is not what Disney's known for. Disney's
it's for
known for
experience.
the 1-to-1 ratio, right? And what
Yeah.
you get is what you expected, and even exceeds your expectations. It's really special. Same things for Ritz-Carlton, usually for Amazon and Apple, these types of things. So this is where we need to be shifting our mindsets in customer experience. It's not about all these tactics.
Uh-huh.
It's about minimizing silos. It's about driving the one-to-one ratio.
Yeah. So we need to have a team playing this kind of activities where we take us
Yeah,
today to the new concept that you are providing for
that's
the team
right.
playing, to go there. So how we can make the team, all the team
Yeah,
working
so
together?
last year the CXPA started. Well, I mean, they have a theme for the CX Day.
Uh-huh.
CX Day is the first Tuesday in
In
October every
October.
year. It's
Yeah.
international. It was, led and it's somewhat managed by the CXPA, but it's so much more than that. It's really it invites all people from customer service, from other organizations, the marketing associations, the success associations. It's not just a CXPA thing.
Yeah.
It's completely inclusive. But what their theme was last year, CX is a team sport.
Uh-huh.
And I loved it. I thought, absolutely, this is what we need to be thinking of much more. Customer experience is a team sport. Why?
Exactly.
Because who creates a poor experience? Who is the area in the company that is creating a poor experience?
Everyone could be. Anyone in the
Anyone.
organization could be.
That's right. Anyone. It could be a business development group. There's a couple of banks here in America that have created phony accounts for the customers because they wanted to have the highest number of average accounts per customer in the whole industry. That was their
Yeah.
bonus. And so they just started creating accounts, and they've gotten in bad trouble legally about that, as well as a lot of customers went away. They had a lot of
Yeah,
churn.
because they will lose the trust. They will do a churn. They will
Exactly.
not see the
Right.
one-to-one ratio at the end of the day. Yani, what you
Right.
say.
So I would say it's surprising that business development could cause a poor experience. What's that?
Uh-huh.
But this is a lesson that any part of your company can unintentionally
Break the experience, I would say. Or,
make the experience poor and
yeah,
create a lot of extra costs.
yes.
So, this is why it's really important for customer experience people to shift how we are thinking about who are our internal customers and how important are our internal customers to making sure our external customers have an excellent experience.
Uh-huh. So we need to have everyone on board, working all
Yes,
together, just
that's
to go
right.
and start receiving our customers. It's
That's
everyone's
right.
responsibility and how
Yeah,
we do
so I
that.
was thinking about the soccer team,
Uh-huh.
right? And of course,
Yeah,
you have some defensive positions, some offensive positions, but essentially all the positions are required all the time because the ball can, the ball is going one way and then the other way in short, with a lot of frequency. So, of course, the goalkeeper I would think of as your customer service, customer success people, because that is the line of last defense. They're
uh-huh.
stopping the ball from scoring to the competitor at the last moment. And
Exactly.
I would think maybe the center back would be your customer experience role in the way that I'm talking about driving that one-to-one
Just
ratio.
to make sure that the latest thing are there. He will see everything from the back. He can even work with the coach and the captain,
Yes,
maybe. Yeah.
that's right. And of course, the coach, the team owners, this is your senior leadership team and your investors, right? And they can call the timeouts and give direction. Maybe the fullbacks would be your quality, legal, field management, because I see them as also having those checks and balances to hopefully not let your competitor score,
Exactly. By
right?
doing the rules, the system rules, the business rules, even the terms and conditions, everything should be resilient and flexible so they can
Mm.
be very responsive to the market, maybe.
That's right. And, it takes some agility. It takes some good footwork by them. And
Yeah,
they really are helping us to walk the talk, aren't they?
yeah,
Um, so maybe the midfielders would be like finance. You've got your defending, holding midfielder, because that's about risk reduction. Finance people, if you really want to get on the good side of your CFO, show them how customer experience reduces risks.
then he will
They're
start give you the money to
well,
invest more
they're
and more.
just as excited about that as they are about revenue growth,
For
right? And
sure,
actually,
yeah.
customer experience biggest opportunities are cutting all this waste where we don't
Yes.
where we're trying to do all kinds of things in our company to make up for the gap. We really should be striving for that gap instead of creating more
More,
programs. Yeah.
more, I would say, objective steps and
Yeah.
movements around the organization, reducing the wasted efforts and all kind of
Mhm.
wastes. Yeah,
So I like the like central midfielder. Is it box to box? Like operations, maybe manufacturing. I think engineering maybe is the right middle midfielder.
they
Uh,
ensure both sides of the floor will have all
mm,
kind of consistency and everything is
mhm.
streamlined to ensure a
Yeah, they're
proper
creating the
handover.
value, and they've got that kind of play between the front line and the back line,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So maybe your offensive uh, striker could be marketing.
yeah.
Um, the
They just fix the ball just to go
playmaker,
and
of course, your sales,
yeah,
right? The attacking midfielder.
yeah,
And perhaps your left midfielder would be IT and HR. Um, so these are some initial assignments of roles in a company and thinking about what did they need from customer experience in order to understand the expectations and realities of customers that they have a play in, right?
yeah. Interesting, very interesting. I would say metaphor and analogy for the team playing because all the team should play together just to score and to win the other competitors, regardless.
Yeah.
So it's not a one-man show. It's everyone in the organization will play as these positions, as what you call
Mhm.
them in the team sport, in this team sport or in this activity.
Exactly. This is how I think about it. Whereas maybe last year, when people were talking about customer experience as a team sport, they may have been thinking about, the customer service and loyalty programs and user experience and design and VOC all connecting and being coordinated. Or maybe they didn't
Yeah,
get that far. Maybe it was just having harmony among your service organization. But I see it as much bigger with all these players
yeah,
because even if 50% of your entire company headcount is in customer experience, or even if 80% was customer experience, it doesn't really
yeah.
matter how much. You still have the other 50% or 20% possibly causing problems because they didn't understand. Everyone does it this way. Our industry, or this is my good idea, or this is my, the thing that we're putting for our bonus this year. And then they do things that create a poor experience.
Yes,
And
and
this
and
is
everyone has a role, even yeah.
exactly.
Facilities team, and we will say the back end team, the security in the building, the security at the store, the parking layer,
Yes.
everything will contribute
Yeah.
to creating frictions.
Facilities,
So everyone should be
IT.
aligned with
Yep. Yep. Even and I think what we sometimes forget is our suppliers and our partners. You have agencies, suppliers, channel partners, affiliates. They also need to be informed about what are your customers' expectations and realities and how we're trying to close the gap. Yeah.
it is a total CX model. We will say if we have a TQM, we will have the TCX model
Mm.
because it's a management for the total experience from
Mm-hmm.
suppliers, vendors, owners of the buildings, or our vendors or suppliers chain. We have all the stakeholders, we have the employees, the brand. Everyone is part of this team and is an enabler to provide the best
Mm.
experience and get the higher revenue, I think.
That's right. I believe that if you did a study looking at those brands we mentioned earlier and other brands that you think are excellent for customer experience compared to others, you would find that, in fact, they are managing their business like CX is a team sport, as we have just discussed.
Yeah, and I totally believe, and we have heard a lot of and read a lot of researches and studies about the model of Amazon and
Mm,
Apple. They all work together just to get
mm,
everything, and they don't hire people. They just say how we can score. Everyone will
mm,
tell you what is the best way of doing this. Then you
mm,
have this plan and strategic, as what you
mm,
said, the strategic planning just
mm.
to go for the tactics using the tools appropriate.
Well,
Interesting.
one of the things I like about a team sport is in order to beat your competitor, you're going to be thinking outside the box, right? You're going to
Yes.
be thinking creatively, not just what everyone is doing, but it seems like in customer experience, we often love to go to a conference and copy as much as we can what everyone is doing. I found it really valuable to step back and think first, what makes the most sense to my customers? What are they trying to get done? And when I really want to know a lot more about their world and foster a unquenchable thirst
Uh-huh.
across every group on my team, every group
Yes.
across, the soccer field, the football field, to want to know what's different with our customers' expectations. Has anything changed? Um, how are we closing the gap? Is there still a gap? And in really
Oh,
engaging people in getting to the root cause of these gaps. When you can get to the root cause of the gaps, you can save so much money because think about the escalations, the remedies, the return products, the customer churn, the employee churn because they get burned out from all that, right?
frustrated, burnout, yes.
It costs so much, constant.
A lot of wasted money and costs for not
Mm,
even making this experience, I would say, perfect one
that's
or
right.
the great one.
So I
Yeah.
call that CX annuities.
Uh-huh.
CX annuities means you're stopping those costs
Uh-huh.
because if you didn't stop it, then those costs you have to still pay next quarter, next year, the next year after that because you didn't, it's happening, right?
You are
So
not fixing the root causes, yeah.
if you fix the root cause, now you have all this money that can go to a better thing. This is the real magic of CX ROI.
Uh-huh. Excellent approach, and hopefully we'll see it implemented more and more because what we are seeing it today, it's the implementation of this
Mm,
kind of reshaping and remodeling the whole
mm,
experience as a team with this new approach. It is
mm,
what we need to do, and it is maybe the perfect formula from
mm.
a successful implementer in most of the times, the soccer team or the sport team. So we need to keep learning, mixing between industries, and
Sure. Yeah, you can
yeah.
apply this to your Formula One teams, to your baseball teams, to whatever, any kind of team, really. You could be thinking about this analogy. So,
Yeah.
along those lines, I wanted to encourage anyone in this who's listening to apply to the CX Team Sport Awards for
Uh-huh.
CX Day 2022. And you
Excellent.
can do that. Go to clearaction.com/CX hyphen team
Oh,
hyphen sport hyphen awards. CX Team Sport Awards.
okay, we will put it in the link of
Mm,
the episode as well. And we will, for sure, we encourage our friends from the region to apply for this, to
mm,
go internationally, because I'm sure we have done a lot of activities locally in our region.
mhm,
It's all about the customer experience. We have these kind of tactics, the different kind of things that will be
mm.
reshaped, like in having the steering committee, the team and the champions from different teams, cross-functional. We
Yes,
have the agility practices, the Scrum, and
mhm,
all these kind of things implemented. So
exactly.
we will ensure just we will apply. We'll see how it's going, and hopefully we'll win. We'll be the
I
winning
want to
team.
hear the stories. I want to see hundreds of stories come in for this contest, and you know that I will always share these in these podcasts and articles and newsletters and even books that I'm writing. And um, I would love to feature your company.
Inshallah, yeah, we will do this as we'll apply, and I will encourage all our listeners and our viewers just to go and apply with their stories. We have a lot, and it's worth to be mentioned globally, not even locally in our region, because we are doing great. Thanks,
we want
Lynn.
the rest of the world to learn a lot more about all the wonderful things going on in the Gulf region and Arabia, all of these wonderful things that you're doing there.
Inshallah, we will do, yes, for sure. Thanks, Lynn, for your time. And we are really happy to have you with us. We will have this episode even available in all the podcast channel of CX Arabia with the translation and subtitles. And looking forward to participate, to be part of the CX Day 2022 CX Sport Team competition and award.
Fantastic. It's been my pleasure and honor. Thank you so much.
We will have this, and looking forward for more cooperation soon as well in the future.
Fantastic. Well, it's been really fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. Talk to you soon, inshallah. See you.
All
Thank
right.
you.